We are here to talk about, evaluate where we went forward, where we did not go forward, where we made mistakes, how to correct it, and then maybe go on to Pratasha 2. Before we go on to Pratasha 2, one thing should be noted quite clearly, that in a political government, it is the will of the government that leads the policy. Unfortunately, the video clip that we saw over here, I was very effectively blacked out on that. I wasn't there anyway. It was all bureaucracy. And this is the unfortunate part which we must realize is not the correct part. The correct path is the policy, philosophy, whatever is to be done comes from the government. And in a democratic government, it is the government in power that gives it. Excellency over here mentioned 2 laws. Those came out from the government. When we talk about making it easier for the migrants, it comes from the government. The instruction comes from the government. And that is how we must ensure that we give credit or give the emphasis where it is due. It must be remembered that it is the political element in any government which is closest to the people. It is not anybody else. Whether you talk in the local government or whether you talk in the national government, it is the political element they are most close to them. And they have the feeling, both they want their votes, so they will work accordingly to the interest of the people, and also to ensure that when they've got the votes, they should try to do something for the people. That is why we must keep that in mind and go ahead accordingly. Pratasha project. As far as my opinion goes, I don't know whether this is the right place to say it or not, but I've said it before also and I can say it again. Pratasha 1 has gone ahead for these years till 2017, I think we started. I became a minister in 2019, and I'm still around. But as far as the Pratasha project is concerned, it has always been on the sidelines. The promoting entity was the Ministry of Expatriate Welfare and for Overseas Employment. But they have always been on the sideline. They have never been in the project. This is what has to be corrected if we are to have Pratasha 2. Because I want to ensure that whatever we do has to be to the benefit of the people for whom we are doing it. Bangladesh is possibly the first country recognized as a champion country of the GCM. And we have been a leader as far as the benefit to migrant workers is concerned. And I hope that if we take it forward in the correct path, we will remain the leaders. Since inception, this ministry has tried its best to ensure that the migrant workers are looked after. We may have tried our best, but whether we have succeeded or not, that's another question. If you ask me personally, I'm not happy. I don't think we've really succeeded in looking after the benefit or the interests of the workers fully. We have succeeded a lot, but not as much as I would have liked it to be. There are so many aspects which have come about in the recent past. Like initially when we talk about trafficking in person, it used to be you kidnap a person and go and sell him somewhere, that is trafficking. But now, as the days have gone by, the concept of trafficking would include anything to do with a migrant worker. Whether it is he doesn't get his wage, he doesn't get the proper job, he doesn't get, his wage is not paid. All these things all come into the trafficking part. Whether we have been able to control or reduce that angle is another issue that we should be considering. In reality, there will always be hurdles, challenges which we have to look forward to or get into. When we talk about overseas employment, whether we have ensured that the country that they go to, do they get a reasonable wage or not? This is something where I would require support from all our interactive countries who are our, I don't call them donors, they are our partners. These are issues that we need to get set up. Whether we should have a minimum wage sort of thing, below that, we will not accept any migrant to any country. These are the things that have to come about in the near future. The ministry can be a focal point, but the implementation generally would be through attached organizations. And that is where we have to be careful. Attached doesn't mean that you are the organization. You are the attached organization. If you bring in anybody, let's say BRAC, for instance, over here. BRAC has been a partner in Pratasha. But the project is of the Ministry of Expatriate Welfare. It is not a BRAC project. It is funded by the EU, IOM, etc. It is not a BRAC project. You see, these are certain things that we must realize and we must accept and believe in. If we can do that, there is no problem. This program that has been going on for so long, at this moment, on the video we were shown certain services that were given or have been given. How far we have succeeded, there has to be an in-depth analysis of each and every service that we have given. Whether we've targeted 100 people and covered 30 people, that's one thing. Or whether we've targeted and covered 90 people, that's another thing. So this is one assessment that has to be done, I feel, very early before going on to phase 2. I'm sure, though I'm saying it here from maybe a bit of lack of knowledge, but I'm sure IOM has been doing all that studies to see that whatever we are looking for, whether we are going into it, we will go forward. And as far as this government is concerned, we are fully prepared to implement everything. Phase 2 of Pratasha, if and when it comes about, I would like to see, because this is again, I'm going back to grassroots. Instead of only BRAC being the implementing agency, I would like to see in the district level where there are small NGOs who may not have the full capacity, but I'd like to see them build their capacity so that they can also get into the mainstream of the country's requirement. I would love it if BRAC says that we will take all the small NGOs. It doesn't have to be the countrywide NGO, they can be all small NGOs. Partner with them, get them together, give them the capacity support so that we have a lot of baby bracks coming up. That is one thing that we could think about. Whatever, giving service from one spot and taking service to the people that we want to take the service to is another issue altogether. Whether we take the service to the people, somebody coming to Dhaka and somebody getting the service in Patuakhali is two different things. Because even if it is a 500 taka expense, now it is reduced thanks to Padda Bridge. Anybody from south can come in 2 hours, he can be in Dhaka. But he still has to come. If there is an organization, if there is an outlet, there is a system, everything can do it on ground.